What's going on, people? My review match recap of the game last night, Young Boys versus Manchester United. Obviously, it ended in a horrible way. Sending off for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, which I can see why he got sent off, but I do think is a little bit harsh. Maybe I'm a bit biased, but he's not meaning to hurt the guy. The guy's reaction is not helpful either. Yes, it would have hurt, but not to the play acting he was doing as well. I think it was a yellow card at most because it was a 50-50 ball, and he does catch him quite high up. But you're basically telling players not to go for 50-50 balls if you're going to send him off. It's unfortunate, and it cost us, and it's frustrating because the game was ruined and spoilt after that. And it should have been a yellow card, as I said. Give the free kick and a yellow, but not a red for me. And it ruined the game, as I said. We nearly hung on, less than a minute to go. And we conceded the match-winning goal from Young Boys. Lingard, not what he needed to do to try and get back into this team. I'm a fan of Lingard. He done well, obviously, at West Ham last season, very well. And I was hoping that he was going to be involved more this year with United if they don't sell him. But he hasn't signed a new contract yet. And I think that last night is only going to be like the final nail in the coffin in terms of United now pushing him out even more than they probably would have. So, unfortunate set of circumstances. Look, moments like that do happen in football. But with Ollie and that saying that after the game, I think it's a bit of an excuse as well, because it doesn't change your substitutions you made when you made them and the personnel. They're very defensive instead of trying to win the game still, and not just setting up shop and hoping you nick a winner and or just keep them from scoring, because do you know what I mean? We went that way and it doesn't work, and we've done that before and it hasn't worked. And he refuses to change it. Obviously a major high against with Ronaldo's debut the other day, and now a major low, because it proves that you can have someone in your team like that, but he's not a defender. Do you know what I mean? And the defender gets sent off and it changes the game. So a horrible result. And we've got it all to do now in the group. And that should have been one of the easiest teams that we play in the whole competition. And it's an embarrassment. So not a good start at all. I've got the player ratings here. I'm going to go through them in a minute. But I thought Sancho was poor again. I'm glad he got subbed off. He got subbed off for Dalot to come on as a sacrifice for Aaron Wan-Bissaka getting sent off. But I'm glad he did get subbed off. Sacrifice or not, because he was poor again, in my opinion, Sancho. I thought Pogba was poor. Fred was poor. I thought Maguire and Shaw are below average. Yeah, just not good all around. I thought Bruno and Ronaldo were the two best, and I thought David De Gea was pretty good as well. But Ollie's got a lot to answer for, and the players themselves, because Ollie can only do so much as well. He can't go on the pitch and play for them. But he has got a lot to answer for in terms of the subs he made, the tactics, formation, not changing things when he should. So it's just not good enough. And yes, we've got Ronaldo. It's great. But like I was saying, we need that defensive midfielder, because that would have helped last night as well. Even though he's not a right back where the sending off happens, you can maybe shift that defensive midfielder across if that happens, instead of bringing another sub on. Do you know what I mean? So it's a problem, and it's an embarrassing start. So let's get into the ratings. David De Gea, I'll give a above average with a 6. I thought he made a few good saves, sorry. It was a fantastic diving one he did at one point to prevent a Young Boys player. And I felt sorry for him because it was all for nothing at the end of the game. So above average with David De Gea, gets a 6. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I'd give a 6 to, above average. I thought he was doing all right until he got sent off. So it was annoying, because I thought out of the back four, he was the best. It's just one of them things, and he gets sent off. So 6 for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Lindelof, I'd give a 5. I thought he was better than Maguire, and I thought he was better than Shaw. So yeah, I thought he had an average game, but I thought he did more than Maguire and Shaw. So the problem with, I had Maguire at least level with Lindelof and Shaw for that matter. Maguire slightly ahead of Shaw previously, until they got the equaliser, because a matey puts a ball in along the floor from the right-hand side, which Shaw and Maguire should both clear. I think Shaw got nutmegged, and it was a little bit behind Maguire. But regardless, there's two of you there And Varane comes in to try and make a last-ditch tackle from the goal scorer and he can't get there in time. It's not Varane's fault because Maguire and Shaw should clear that ball before it reaches the box and they don't. So it's on them, and because of that I bumped their ratings down because one of them has to clear it and neither of them do. So both Maguire and Shaw get a 4. Pogba, I didn't think he influenced the game at all. Didn't get on the ball enough. When he did, he didn't do anything with it. And I thought defensively he wasn't great either. So in terms of a player influencing a game and how good he's been recently in the league with assists and such, he went missing last night. Fred, poor again, giving the ball up too much in dangerous areas. Can't pass, can't shoot. Not good enough again for Fred. And he's not good enough for Man United, in my opinion. Gets a 3 as well. Sancho, I thought was poor. He did one good move, I remember, but then other than that, nothing. And I'm not impressed with him since he come to the club. He's not played a ton of minutes yet, but it was his chance yesterday, and I'm glad he got subbed off because he was poor. Bruno, I'd give a 7. That ball he played for the Ronaldo goal outside of the boot, across the back 4, splits the defence. Unbelievable pass and assist from Bruno, and I thought he was good. I'll give him a 7. But that ball, what an assist. Donny van de Beek, another one that was frustrating because I thought he was playing very well, or at least above average. I'll give him a 6. And this is where Ollie comes in again because he ruins it and he takes him off and subs him at half-time for Varane. Takes a midfielder off and puts Varane on. This is what I mean about shutting up shop, and it didn't work, did it? So, pointless. Donny, but it's disappointing. He hardly gets in the team. He gets his chance last night. He's doing good. And then he gets taken off. And Fred stays on. Do you know what I mean? And Pogba stays on, who was poor as well. Donny was better than Fred and Pogba and Sancho. I know Sancho got subbed off, but Fred and Pogba should have come off before Donny van de Beek come off. And he doesn't because Ollie's got his favourites and won't do it based on how they're playing, which is ridiculous. 6 for me for Donny. And just unlucky again. Poor treatment, and I feel sorry for the guy. If I was him, I would do my utmost to leave this club because we're treating him like absolute dirt. Gets a 6, above average for me. Ronaldo gets a 7, the same as Bruno. Between Bruno and Ronaldo for man of the match, for me, Ronaldo, we only had 2 shots in the game, all game. And the last shot was the Ronaldo one where he laced it at the keeper with his left foot. And that was in the 25th minute. And that was the last shot we had in the game in the 25th minute. After the goal. Embarrassing, even if you're down to 10 men, because other teams will go down to 10 men and win that game. So there's no excuse for it. I don't want to hear it. Ollie's saying like, oh, it's always difficult when you lose a player. Yeah, but if Liverpool went down to 10 men, City or Chelsea, they would still win the game and score more goals, even though they've got a man less, because it's mentality and it's being brave and it's not being ultra defensive and shutting up shop and hoping that we don't concede. Because look what happens, the end result, we lose the game because of how you've set up and how the mentality is. So Ronaldo gets a 7 for me. Felt sorry for him as well because he did his bit, as did Bruno and David De Gea. And Donny van de Beek. And they're all victims of the system and Ollie's decisions. So, man of the match, I give all the subs an average, by the way, as well, because I was just frustrated at that point with the subs and everything that I wasn't fully concentrating on how they were performing. So a few of them might have got above average, but I give them all an average. Ollie, I would give a 3 to. Poor from him. He's lucky he doesn't get a 1. And also, I forgot to say as well, I said I'd give all the subs an average. I would give Lingard a 1, simply because he threw the game away. Passing like that, I know it happens in football, but the way it happened and with so little time to go, he's got to do better there. And I'm a fan of Jesse, but he lost us the game last night, along with Ollie's decisions and substitutions and such. But Lingard, ultimately, it's his pass that decides the game. Less than like 30 seconds to go, I think it was. And do you know what I mean? I don't know who's trying to pass to, but he gets a 1 for me. Has to, because he threw the game away. It's his pass that decides it right at the end. Not good enough. And I'm a fan of him as well, so there's no bias on that at all. Man of the match, I would give to Bruno. You could give it to Ronaldo as well, wouldn't be mad. But Bruno's assist, simply for that ball he played, unbelievable. And I thought he was good as well. So I'd give my man of the match to Bruno Fernandes. Closely followed by Ronaldo. And I thought Donny could have, I think he was above average at least. So shouldn't have been subbed off in my opinion. Ollie got a lot wrong. And now we've got it all to do in the group as well. As I said, that initial joy and excitement of Ronaldo coming back and winning that game in his debut coming back is now gone. Even though it's not affected us in the league, because now we have to go into that West Ham game away with that mentality of losing this game. That's going to play on their minds. So it's going to be interesting to see how they react, because they've got to. But it's gonna have a detrimental effect, because how can it not? But I'm not saying we can't win that game, but it's a tougher task than it needed to be. So I think Ollie's got a lot to answer for, and I'm still not convinced he's a man for the job. He still produces results a lot of the time when you don't think he's going to, but the substitutions are always a problem for me with him 9 times out of 10, and the timing of them, and the mentality behind him, because most of the subs we done were defensive when we should go on to try and get a second goal. Even if you are a man down, you've got to be brave and kill the game off. So not good enough, and I hope that we get a better result against West Ham, because they're going to be missing Antonio, which is a bonus for us because he is their danger man. They've got good players still, and I could still see them causing us problems even without Antonio. So it's going to be interesting. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Let me know your ratings in the comments and your thoughts on the games, and especially the United game last night. But not happy, and we go into that West Ham game with no momentum now. So it's going to be interesting, and I'll see you soon, guys, but not good enough.